So I'm in my car today and I thought it would be pretty cool to make a good video on this car and why I bought it. Do I like it? Would I buy it again? This is a 2025 Legacy Limited. It's the first car I've ever bought brand new. It's the second Subaru that I've owned. And overall, I would buy this car again. I really enjoy the all-wheel drive. It's extremely hilly where I live, and we have all sorts of weather, but primarily it handles extremely well when it is freezing rain or blizzard-like conditions. The only downside would be is that, yes, this is a Legacy, so your clearance is not going to be very good. You're not going to be drift running or anything like that in this, but you want to get through. I went through snow deeper than my bumper. Like, my bumper was clearing a pathway along with the tire tracks, so it can handle pretty well in heavy wet snow. What I like about this car is primarily the all-wheel drive because of my commute. I put a lot of miles on my car. I'll start my car here in a little bit for you so you can see how many miles I put on. I've owned this car for 16 months and I've got close to 40,000. I carpool, my husband and I carpool, we work for the same place, so we like to take this car because it gets 35 miles to the gallon highway miles. Also, what's great about this car is you don't have to put gas in it very often. I can't stand putting gas in my car. I feel like it's this major inconvenience and I despise every bit of it. This car has 18.5, I think is what I read. It's got a huge gas tank for a little car. And my husband's taken this car all the way from the Mandan truck stop in North Dakota, it's like just west of Bismarck, all the way to Minneapolis on a tank of gas without putting gas in it. So this thing, yeah, that's good. Also, why I like this car is when you look at cars similar in specs, I would compare it to the Toyota Camry or the Honda Civic. Honda Civic's slightly cheaper than this car, and the Toyota Camry is slightly more expensive. I like the way the Camrys look. They look nicer, but they don't have the all-wheel drive, and I very much needed that with my rural commute every day for life. So I couldn't do it. The car had to have all-wheel drive. Also, if you take care of these cars and do your maintenance, they should last a decent amount of miles. And I bought this car with the intent of either handing it down to my middle child when she gets her driver's license here in a few years, or I'm going to run it till hopefully get 10, 12 years out of this thing. We'll see. I'd like to get 250,000 miles on it. I don't know. We'll see what it does. Like I said, there's different trim levels. This particular Subaru, the Subaru Limited, does not have the turbo. There are versions that do have the turbo, which is really good because this has a CVT. It's the way it shifts a little differently, that type of transmission, than one that you may be used to driving. So the turbo, you don't get as good of gas mileage, and because that's what I wanted for the car, because I'm driving on the interstate, is the gas mileage. If you're going to use this as like a run around town and you need to zoom in and out of traffic constantly, probably go for the turbo. Anyways, all right, so let's move on. I chose the ivory interior, and the outside of my car is, I think they call it black silica. Yeah, black silica. The Subaru that I had before this was a red one. I did not like the red. I really like the black. My car is dirty right now. That's fine. Let's see if I can show you you can kind of see the iridescent rainbow sparkles on the paint, which is really neat. It really is like that. I know the video is not that great, but the sunlight's coming through my trees back here. And yeah, it really sparkles in the sun when it's clean. Another great thing about this car is it has 18-inch rims. 18-inch rims means that it's a bigger tire. Bigger tire, you feel less bumps and all those the crap that when the road is crappy, the ride is smoother with bigger tires. However, that being said, bigger tires equal more money for tires. Also, anytime you have an all-wheel drive vehicle, you can't really get away with just purchasing 2 tires. When you need a new tire because one got screwed up and maybe the other 3 are half worn, you need to replace all 4 tires because otherwise your all-wheel drive is not going to work properly. The window tint on this, that doesn't come factory like that. I put that on afterwards. It depends on where you live. I think I paid like $400 or $500. I gave him a tip too. So that went on afterwards, and that went on right away. I think maybe a week later after I've had the car, that's holding up real well. Also with this car, the maintenance is fairly decent priced compared to some of the other cars. I mean, a Toyota and a Honda, that you're not going to pay a lot in maintenance either. What I will say though is I do know what it costs to replace the windshield on this. Not this specific one, but the 2021 Legacy. That was $1,200. I had a deer smash into me and it hit the side of my car, rolled on top of the windshield and off the back of my car, and then got up and walked away. And it was, yeah, $1,200 just for the windshield because of the way they have to go around the cameras. You can probably, yeah, you can see them up here in between the black tint. Those are your lane cameras to keep you, the car can somewhat drive by itself. You can, if there's good lanes on the road, it can keep you in the lane. But because I drive so much, I have had 6 chips repaired. Like you can see right here. This one, and then it cracked out to here. I had this repaired. $55 at Mandan Auto Glass. That's that small town right next to Bismarck. If you're on 94, you got a window chip. $55. This was just repaired a week ago. I'm not getting paid to tell you to take your car there, nothing like that. Just a shout out to them because I don't think I could have found a cheaper price. And that's why there's 2 little specks there, because it ran here and he drilled a hole to try and stop that crack and then filled that crack in. Also, I got some way down here too, and that's just what happens. There's semis on the road and little chips. It's worth I've probably thrown in $250 just in the chip repair on this, but that's better than $1,200 for a new windshield when it splinters like that. Another great thing about this car, we're getting a gust of wind, holy. The trunk space and the way the trunk closes. So this is all protected, so basically you can cram this whole thing full, even up to here, and the trunk door will close. You can fit a lot in there. Right now I left what I had in here. I've got 100 pounds of cat litter, 2 cases of water, plenty of space in there. And I'll go in here, I'll turn it on, show you the back seat too. I've sat in the back seat, but primarily my kids do. You can fit adult there. I'm 5'8", it's fine. Here, I have really long legs. I have plenty of space in between me and the seat, more than I do it on an airplane. So it's a decent amount of space. The seats aren't too bad. Like if I were to rate it 0 through 10 for comfort, I'd say a 7. But what can you do when you pay what you pay for a car, right? That's just part of it. Also, the factory speakers are fairly decent if you like to blast your music, but you don't want to put in aftermarket amps and subs. It's all right. I'm going to turn this on now and show you how many miles I got on this. There it is, 39,286. It has been driven a lot. I would buy it again.